Amber Miners, welcome back to the Amber Mine. And as promised, I just got home from seeing Jurassic World Rebirth. I've got some interesting thoughts. So this is going to be episode 2 of Rambles. I knew this was going to be, Jurassic World Rebirth was going to be the theme of the second one, but I just didn't realize that it would be the review. I thought I was going to have more time. Just time sneaks up on me. Jurassic June. It may not have felt like it, but I was busy. Anyway, so it was definitely a movie. This is going to be spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want to be spoiled, turn off now. And I'll try to keep things down to a minimum, and then I'll have a Patreon exclusive version. Or I might record the Patreon version another time, after I've had time to mull over some thoughts. Anyway, so Rebirth. To set the stage, it is set in the year 2027, so it's not even now 2025. It never explicitly addresses that, so I don't know why it didn't say anything, because it felt like very much so like it was now. But anyway, so the movie takes place in a world where dinosaurs are everywhere, but they're dying out. So a lot of them are now being survived in zoos, and it talks about how they're pretty much slowly dying, like our original concept of what dinosaurs were back in, I don't remember if it was the first one or if it was something else that I remember talking about, how originally their thought process was that they were these giant hulking masses just waiting to die out. That's basically where the dinosaurs are now, and the movie opens up with this giant... I'm not going to talk about the prologue just yet. I will talk about that in just one moment. But it's an Apatosaurus, which they call Brontosaurus, which is technically correct, has escaped its zoo, blah, blah, blah. I think they called it Dippy, the Brontosaurus, which is a reference to one of the very first early animation pieces, which, if I have time and remember, I'll put over on the far side. Just have that playing on loop in the background. But the thing's head was massive. As far as it felt like it was double, if not 3 times the size of what an actual Apatosaurus head was. It was like the size of a Volkswagen Bug. It's ridiculous how big they upscaled it. I knew Jurassic upscaled things, but I don't think they upscaled them that much. But anyway, so let me circle back to that prologue. So it says that it was 32 years in the past, which, if this is 2027, let me do some math real quick. Sorry, bear with me, my phone is also a dinosaur. So, 1995, if 2027 minus 32 years, and it said something along the lines, I have to get the verbatim shot, that it says that it's been 32 years since dinosaurs were created. No, that is not accurate whatsoever. In 1995, that was Hurricane Clarissa. But let's go 2027 minus 1986. That would mean 41 years ago was the first dinosaur to ever have been resurrected in Jurassic Universe, which is the Triceratops. So I'm not sure what the hell went wrong. Thankfully, that's a quick text error, and so if they're off literally by both of them, just by one number, so it could easily be fixed. But now, the technology felt futuristic, but when you actually looked at the screens and looked at everything, it felt really old school. It felt like something out of the Alien franchise. So it looked, on the surface, looked way too new for 1980s, but the screens looked correct. That's why I'm so confused, because everything else, like the suits that they were wearing, the kind of stuff that they were the tests that they were conducting on the mutants. Also, what the hell happened to the thing about that the D-Rex was created just before, as part of the testing for the Indominus? Because, according to the movie, it was 1995, and, which would mean where the hell is Sorna? I think most of my issues, like in general that I've had with this movie, would be null and void if it just took place on Sorna. Because then what the hell is the reason for another facility? Why is there even a need for a second facility? But anyway. Also, so I did notice that there were 5 major issues, lore-wise, that really throw me out as somebody who actually cares about the lore of this franchise, which I feel like I'm one of the dinosaurs in Jurassic Rebirth, and I feel like I'm part of a dying breed, which really makes this as a YouTuber really hard. But anyway, before I get myself all depressed. Okay, so I had 5 major issues with this movie, and I'm gonna list them as follows, or at least the intro, the very beginning of the movie, because that's when I created this list. I had something come up and I needed to exit the theater and go, and then I came back. It was like 15-20 minutes in, and it was just so... Okay, first of all, the very early parts of the movie is so dialogue-driven that it was so boring. Yes, I understand that the concept is that you need to have exposition and be able to show these characters' backstories, but this is supposed to be a sequel to a Spielberg movie. One of Spielberg's big things was show, not tell. I love Gareth Edwards' work. I love David Koepp's work. His writing is amazing. Like, Lost World is the second, still in my opinion, the second best. And a lot of my friends in this community think it is the best movie in the Jurassic franchise. So he's good. But this dialogue felt way too modern, and there's this one character that I absolutely revolted the entire movie, and it's not even the villain. The villain I thought was perfect. Like, he felt something very much out of... Oh, that also brings up another amazing aspect. This felt the most Crichton to me. Even more so than Dominion. And Dominion felt like it was ripped from the pages of all of Crichton's books. They actually used dialogue. Like, oh my god. Like, because of Jurassic June, we were originally wanting to do the audiobook. So rereading the novel, it's like, whoa! This prologue, which was one of the parts that I actually read, oh my god, they used almost verbatim text. But anyway, wait. Back to what my 5 nitpicks were of just the first 20 minutes. So, Hammond said, and actually, I'll play the clip here. Hammond ran everything on geothermal power. The new facility has a hydroelectric dam and a reservoir behind it. Yes, there were geothermal power tubes running through the island, of course. That was one of the main MacGuffins on how they even got to the worker village. Not the worker village, the lab village. Oh my god. This is a retread. I'm going to be perfectly honest. This feels like just like a retread of both the first trilogy. So what Force Awakens did, which actually put me to sleep, which was it was a remake of New Hope. This throws the best parts of Jurassic Park, The Lost World, and Jurassic Park 3 together. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I may be complaining about it, but that's part of my job. But okay, so Hammond said that they ran everything on geothermal power. There's a hydroelectric dam. Next. So, as I mentioned before, the 32 years thing, which means that it would be in 1995, not 1986. So, if they just fix that one thing in text, everything would be great. Next up is, so they try and say that this was meant for the original park. Most of the public would have only known Jurassic World, except for certain people. But anyway, this lab tech felt way too futuristic. Again, I went into quite a bit more detail on that earlier. But why? If this was meant to be, so we've got multiple stories. If this is meant to be pre-Hurricane Clarissa engine, this is way too modern. But the screens are correct. If this is supposed to be like 2005, 2006 era engine under Masrani, it looks perfect, but the computer screens are off. I'm not sure. My next is that, so what year is it supposed to be? That 32-year gap, like jumping back in time? Because that was Hammond's Augusta helicopter. So the same one that Hammond flew to the island in the beginning of the first movie, and then also to Grant's dig site, that shows up. We follow that around. Honestly, I thought it was going to start with a flashback of them leaving Jurassic Park, because it was I wasn't 100% sure when it was set. If it was set this year, it would mean that it was in 1993, which could have worked. I thought it was going to show the helicopter leaving the island, and then something like being left behind, like Wu going back in to grab some genetic samples. I don't know. I'm spitballing here. But anyway, I thought that's how it was going to go, but because it was Hammond's helicopter, it was clearly... I'll have to go back. I'm going to be watching this multiple times in theaters. But when it comes out, I'm sure I'll be able to freeze frame and see what the tail number is. I'm fairly certain that that was Hammond's helicopter. Anyway, so that's flying in. If this is supposed to be 1995, well, actually, it is fully possible. But at the same time, Hammond's been removed, this is right around the time that he's turning into that born-again naturalist. So why would he be going to this facility? Which also brings to question, if this was meant to be, if the D-Rex, which this is the scene where they abandoned the facility, if this was supposed to have been one of the precursors to the Indominus, so either pre or post Scorpius, why is everything set in the 90s when it's supposed to be like 2005, 2006? No. It's supposed to be shortly before the Indominus, which they were born in 2010. So this should be somewhere between like 2007, 8 time period. But that number says 32 years. Again, I'm really confused at the timeline, because in interviews they're saying one thing, the trailer's saying another, and in the movie they're saying a completely third thing. I might be missing something. Please tell me. And then lastly, okay, that Apatosaurus was huge. That really helped, like, pulled me from it. And so it was easier for me to be able to, like, okay, I gotta go, and then come back later. That dialogue was, especially in the very beginning of the movie, was so slow. Yes, I understand that it's important to establish that Duncan is this lone mercenary and he's going to be taking care of kids and all this. But all you had to do was literally show him when they got to the island, when he pulled off the picture of his son. We didn't need to know that he died. We didn't need to know that his his wife, his ex-wife, is estranged from him because all this stuff. All we needed was that quick grab of the picture, focus on that for 3 seconds, and that's Spielberg-esque, which would be explaining why he was so obsessed with making sure that, I don't even remember the girl's name, the little girl. We have the father, Teresa, little girl, and Stoner. I absolutely hate the Stoner. All of his dialogue feels like it was written way too modern. And it's just like, yes, I understand it's supposed to be set now, but it was so dry. It's like, hey, what do we do now? We should be following these pipes. We should be doing this. I got weed. Huh? Maybe it's too boomer of me, but... Huh? Huh? I don't see how his character was meant to be funny and whatsoever. He detracted from the movie. If anything, I think the movie would have been better without the character. Not saying that the actor did a poor job. He did what his character was supposed to do, which those type of people annoy the ever-living crap out of me. So he did that job right. So the actor did great. Let's not hate on the actor. For the love of God, I know how this fandom is. Do not attack the actor. Anyway, it's just the character drove the crap out of him. So before I go into my Patreon rant, if I decide to do that tonight, this is not a kid's movie. My brother, so I've got a niece who's, just about to become a teenager, but my nephew is under 10 years old, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, he's under 10 years old. And they love dinosaurs. They love the Jurassic franchise. Now, this is a movie that I would want. However, looking from the eyes of an uncle, I can't in good conscience have take my nephew to see this movie. This is way too dark for him. Now, as a fan of the novel and a more mature person, this is exactly the movie that I've been wanting. It's dark, it's gritty, it feels directly from the novel. It feels like Crichton himself was infused directly into it. And I'm happy about that. There's only like 4 or 5 things. So I've got my 5 things from the intro. I've got the Stoner guy. And, so I'm not even entirely bothered by the D-Rex. That makes some sense. The Mutadons, I'm really baffled by. From what I understand, they were originally meant to be raptors, granted, I understand why they changed, because that when they were messing around at the lab village, because the gas station, it would have felt like it was retreading, like verbatim, The Lost World. So they had to change it. But you could have changed it to Dilos. You could have changed it to something else. Heck, it could have been the double-headed raptor. That would have been cool. But no. The return of the Jurassic Park 3 raptors was literally 5 seconds. They were about to pounce, take out the Stoner dude, while he was peeing of all things, which that felt really juvenile, but whatever. And then the Mutadon takes him, and you can see everything, and it's just like, huh? It was very close to being perfect. I've been hearing rumbles that there's going to be an extended cut. I would love to see that, because what we got felt really rushed. I think it should have cooked for another year. From what I understand, the whole development, from the word go to now, was the shortest development time of any of these movies. I think it should have cooked just a little bit longer, and that we should have waited till next June. That way, anyway, I think it would have been better that way. But I like the product we have now. Again, I just wouldn't take my my nephew to go see this, an under 10-year-old. How's our time? I've been going for about 15, 20 minutes. Okay, this is where I'm going to call it. Anyway, guys, it's been Thigh. I can't wait to see where this movie goes. As for my ranking, I would go, this goes straight in the middle, just, so it goes Jurassic Park, The Lost World, Dominion, Jurassic World Rebirth, Fallen Kingdom, Jurassic Park 3. None of them are bad. They're all high tier for me. Some just aren't as good as the others. And Jurassic Rebirth feels right in the middle. It's not a bad movie, not a great movie. Could be amazing. Just a couple things were tweaked. And, one other big thing that I wanted to mention that I completely realized I forgot to talk about. This literally feels like Skull Island. So this is like King Kong on steroids, which is great. I'm happy. This is the direction the franchise should have gone. Where, again, I'm not a problem. I do not have a problem with the islands. I think that's where Jurassic is best. That's where they do their best. They don't work well on the mainland. Limit it in the scary, or the dark mystery of the jungle. And that's where Jurassic shines. And I think that's the best way to end this, is Jurassic Rebirth, or Jurassic World Rebirth shines where the fandom does not want it to. Anyway, this has been Thigh. I'll see you all next time down in the Evermine. Remember, if you liked our content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to ring that bell to be notified of any of our future uploads. This has been Thigh. I'll see you all next time down in the Evermine.